J-Mott here from Stretford Paddock. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford. This is a one-on-one interview with Ian Stirling from Manchester United Supporters Trust. Ian, how are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Morning, Jay.
Morning. Don't listen. Yeah, thanks for that. Straight in with that one. Not much going on then, is there really, lately, over the last couple of weeks in Manchester United? No, seriously though, we've had a lot of developments. The most recent development when it comes to the ownership of Manchester United was last night we saw a video doing the rounds of Avrams Glazer being sort of quizzed, questioned, challenged over in Florida by a Sky News reporter. He didn't answer any questions, he didn't speak, he didn't even acknowledge the fact the report was there. The reporter asked him if he had a message to Manchester United fans. Just what did you make of that video when you saw it and his lack of reaction?
Unsurprising, really. Look, he's spoken to us twice in 16 years, and one of those was for an apology for the balls up they made with the European Super League. That was his opportunity to say something. Look, how hard would it have been to turn around and say, yeah, we understand the feeling of Manchester United fans, we apologise and we'll do work and do whatever we can to try and put it right. But it's symptomatic of his approach to us. It's how, I don't think any United fan was surprised with his lack of response. But well done to Sky for pursuing it as well and going after him. They need to be put on the spot more. And it is a welcome thing that Sky did.
You've obviously sent an open letter to the owners, to the Glazers, sort of with a list of requests, demands, however you want to term it. This was obviously off the back of M.U.F.C. and from the fans forum as well. They've got till Friday to respond to that. How hopeful or confident are you that you'll get a response?
They would be stupid not to make any response at all. The noise that we're getting is that there will be some kind of response on Friday or before. There has to be. You saw the level of support anger here on Sunday. That isn't going to go away. They need to say something. They need to show some progress. Quite obviously, they're not going to be able to deliver everything all at once. It's not going to happen. But if they can show us and can demonstrate, one, that they're willing to talk, communicate with us and deliver on the proposals that we've put forward through the fans forum and through the Must Open letter, it's going to go some way towards quelling that anger a little, I would say. It's we want to see change. Supporters want to see change. It's a pretty unified voice at the moment. I've never seen United fans so united, to be honest, and it's fantastic to see. We want to continue with that, and it's important that we continue with the pressure because we need to drive that home, because at the heart of this, what we want is a better future for the club, and we need to secure the club as well. We never ever want to see a proposal like that again, which would damage this club, damage the community, damage United fans. That's what we want to see movement on.
One of the points you've put to the Glazers is about having a voice and having a place on the board as well. Now, we've seen with Chelsea that they've offered, I think, a place on their board for a supporter. What did you make of what Chelsea have done? What have you made of that? And do you think that's a step for that club in the right direction?
They may be satisfied with that. Look, they've got an owner who's put a fair amount of money into the club, billions. You've seen what's happened over at City last night, where they're all jumping about celebrating. There wasn't one call for change from any one of them at the moment. They've got another owner there who's put billions into the club. An observer in terms of someone on the board might work for them. It's not going to work for us. It's not going to cut it at all. We want independent directors in place to secure the club, so no proposal comes out like this in the future, to ensure that there's communication and consultation with the people who matter. The fans, the supporters, the season ticket holders, the match goers, the whole supporter base. There has to be. That is the only way forward, and that is the only thing that will satisfy us.
You spoke then about fans sort of being unified, and there seems to be a real momentum behind the protests and what's going on. One of the what we're seeing sort of avenues that people are pursuing is in terms of sponsorship, in terms of hitting the sponsors of Manchester United where it hurts. What have you made of that reaction from fans?
Totally understandable. It's not a road we're going down as a supporters trust at the moment. Look, we're not saying anything's off the table at all, but we think it's only fair and reasonable to give the club and the owners a chance to respond to our request on Friday at the latest. We need to see some movement. United fans want to see some movement with this. We want to see some progress. So totally understandable from supporters. It's something that had happened before, back in 2005 and back in 2010, in putting pressure on the sponsors. We did it ourselves as a supporters trust with Vodafone. You know, we had a campaign with Vodafone Glazers out, and they ended up pulling their sponsorship back then. So we understand the tactic. I think for us as a supporters trust, it's just about timing. All in good time, I think that would happen if we don't see any progress. This is what this is about. We want to see action on those proposals that we've put forward before we move to any next stage.
How much of a difference would it make for you as a supporters trust if you saw or heard from the Glazers themselves? Because I know in the fans forum, I think it was Ed Woodward who was on there. I think he looked shocked from all the reports we heard. But there was, you know, on the back of that apology from Joe Glazer, which personally I don't think he's read, let alone wrote, he said about rebuilding the trust with the fans. He wasn't on that call. He wasn't on that in that meeting with you. How much of a difference would it make if the owners actually started a dialogue with you rather than going through intermediaries?
I don't think they know how to communicate. They've got nothing in common with us, really, as supporters. That's what they have demonstrated. We've always been willing to work for the betterment of supporter causes, to protect our culture as supporters, for the interest of United fans everywhere. That's what we want to do. If they wanted to talk to us, I think they'd have done it a long time before now. That's, you know, whether it's people who work from within the club, and we know there are a lot of good people who do work within the club. This is not an attack on them. They're their voice, they're the owners' voices. They can't decide anything off their own backs without putting it past the Glazers. So whether the Glazers actually talk to us directly or not, I think is neither here nor there. But after talking to us only twice in 16 years, I doubt whether that's going to change now.
Just finally, what's the next step? I know you're waiting for this response. Let's just say, you know, the response isn't the one you want. What's the next step? Have you got a plan in place for the next the next step, basically?
Yeah, I mean, we continue to keep putting pressure on in the club, but we also think the changes in legislation, supporting the government review into governance and ownership, that is very, very important. If you think back to 1998, the thing that defeated Murdoch then was government. You know, we can demonstrate our feelings as supporters, as a trust, and keep that pressure on. That's going to be beneficial. It will be. That will deliver what we want. We would love the club to come out and say, no, we're going to put everything in place before any government regulation changes. I doubt whether that's going to happen. I should imagine there will be some movement, but it will never go all the way without a change in regulation. As a trust, we will hope to be in a position very soon in launching a campaign which will give supporters a greater voice in being involved in a future ownership model. But that is something that we're working on. I'm more than happy to come back on and talk to you when we're able to launch that. So there's lots of strings to this bow, lots of strings to it. We will continue to fight. We will continue to listen to our members and United supporters, and now is the time for change. We can't go back to the status quo. Things have to change now.
Thanks a lot, Ian. The fight continues. Things have to change now. You can check out Manchester United Supporters Trust. There's a link in the description. Ian, thanks for coming on the channel. Make sure as well you're giving us a like, a share and a subscribe. That's been Ian Stirling from the Manchester United Supporters Trust. I've been M.U.F.C. Thanks for watching.